Welcome back to another episode of the Pickle Pulse. I am your host, Brian Green, and I am here as always with Miss Christy Barker. What's up?
Hey there. I'm great. How are you doing today, Brian?
I'm good. How's the weekend?
It's a pickleball-filled weekend, I tell you that.
Yeah, it definitely has been. I feel like I've been here, there, and everywhere. And you too, I know.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Local tournament here, but everywhere I've been elsewhere, I've had my phone in hand watching the PPA this weekend. It was exciting.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Couple of special shout outs on this day. First of all, how about happy birthday to Brad Barker?
Happy birthday, Brad Barker. Early birthday.
He's just the sexiest 40-year-old I've ever seen. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, it's better with age, yeah.
And after I say the sexy comment, this is going to be really weird, but it's also my twins' birthday.
There you go.
And
happy
I know they
birthday
watch, so happy birthday, Hey and Nat. You guys are just the light of my life, and I am so stoked that you are becoming just quality human beings year in and year out.
That's a good thing to be able to say as a parent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, at least like 6 out of 7 days.
Gotcha.
All right. So today we are talking the Mesa Arizona Cup, and we're going to do our first installment of the 10. What is this called, Christy? Help me out.
That's a great question. We might morph this as we go along, but our top 10 takeaways, our top 10 takes.
You said like 10 from the weekend.
10 from the weekend. I like that.
That's it. Yeah, 10 from the weekend. That's what we're going to call this.
Yeah.
And if you don't like it, put in the comments what you would call it. And maybe you're smarter than we are and you come up with something fantastic and we'll switch it because that's how we roll.
Can we make it like PTI, like pardon the interruption? Like we eventually like have a little scroll on the bottom of the screen, like you know what topic's coming up next or something?
Yeah, now you're making the editor do extra work. I think you can, but as the editor, let me see.
Got it. You'll get back to me. I got it.
All right. So I think the first thing we should talk about is a young man named Caden Campbell. So this is number 10,
yes.
Caden Campbell.
So it's actually Kaysen Campbell.
Oh,
yeah,
see, and
like,
I'm crushing it already. Kaysen.
Right, like Jason Campbell, like the old Redskins quarterback.
Do you know how he spells it, just so I know?
Cason.
Okay, gotcha.
Spelled traditionally. 17 years old. I apologize. I don't know where he's from. I know that he has made a name for himself this weekend. That's what I know. He was the 43 seed in singles. And I mean, the trip that this kid took this weekend, he's known as the kid with the hat. I looked up his Instagram actually this weekend.
Okay.
Kaysen Campbell, I looked him up on Instagram and it says literally AKA the kid with the hat. He's got this ratty hat on that he says is his lucky hat.
Well, it worked this weekend.
And it worked this weekend. He has a tennis background. That's what we know. I don't know much else. I would love to look into this farther and learn more about him. He came in singles. He beat the 21 seed.
Okay.
Again, he's the 43 seed.
Wow.
So he started by beating the 21 seed. Then he went on to beat the 29 seed. Then he goes in and he beats Colin Schick, the 12 seed.
Wow.
And then he goes and he defeats Dylan Frazier, the 8 seed. And then after that, he decided he would take Jack Sock to 3 games. So he ended up losing to Jack Sock, but he took Jack Sock to 3 games.
Holy cow.
On another level, out of nowhere, which is really cool.
Okay, so I'm glad you caught that because I did not see any of those matches, but there's some that sounds like I've got to go back and watch because this kid, I mean, he could be legit if he's playing head-to-head with those names.
Correct. And only 17. So years ahead of him, of course, like decades likely ahead of him. It's going to be really cool to watch.
Yeah.
And I don't think that this is a fluke. I mean, that was very consistent play, beating many seeds that were higher than him. And I'm excited to see what he does in the next tournament.
Look, if he took down Dylan Frazier, that means he can probably play cat and mouse.
Correct.
And if he was hanging with Jack Sock, that means he can handle the power of I don't even know what you call that. If Tyson has a Ferrari forehand, he's got a battle tank forehand.
Right.
It's just like, it's so hard.
Yeah. So one of our top takes, our top 10 from the weekend, like definitely go ahead and look this kid up and look for his name, listen for it, and go find the kid with the hat.
Yep. Congrats, Kaysen. That's
pretty
awesome. Cool. Very impressive run.
Yeah. Can't wait to see what your future has.
So number 9.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Jack Sock.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, he is just I am becoming such a fanboy.
Yeah, I agree. And I would say, like, of all of his games, I'm a fan. Specifically this weekend of singles and in mixed.
Oh yeah.
Again, I think he made it all the way to the bronze medal match. So he made it to the semis for singles, then made it to the bronze medal match in singles. That was exciting to watch. I think one of the viral videos from the weekend was his forehand on one of his singles points that just went so fast. You can see this person in the scenes behind him just go,
Yeah.
Like jaw-dropping power that's coming out of this guy.
No,
That's cool.
his ability to take over the court and mixed, like,
Yes.
I want to say like a younger Ben, but Ben's still super young. It's just, he is so hyper aggressive right now. And I watched his match against Annalie and Ben. And I mean, he was just trying to plow through them and they were struggling at times.
They were, especially in that first game. I loved the timing of when Jack Sock chose to step in front of Catherine and take a ball and to be as aggressive as he was with it. I mean, he was controlling some points there, which was really cool to see.
Yeah, my question is like, how long is this Selkirk contract gonna last with the Lux? Is this like, I wonder if he signed a deal for a couple of years, because I'd like to see him with a power or something a little poppier.
Yeah.
I've played with that Lux and it's soft. And if he hits it that hard with that paddle, holy cow, give him a carbon, give him a gearbox. He'll be just putting holes in people.
It's going to be dangerous. I mean,
it already is.
I don't want him with a powerful paddle. I can't imagine what that would be like to face that kind of power, but I agree with you.
Yeah, the guys
He's crazy with a soft paddle. Who knows what would happen otherwise.
The guys and girls that were winning this weekend were doing it in very, I don't want to say very unique fashion, but you're seeing the power game really come to light on the PPA Tour.
Yeah.
And you have to be able to handle the driving crash at this point.
That's true.
So Jack Sock.
Yeah, no, really cool. I agree. Singles and mixed. And I don't want to take anything away from the men's game, because that's of course growing as well. But I just thought it was very impressive with the mixed and the singles.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
I agree.
Number 8, watching the play-in draws for the pros was eye-opening for 2 reasons. One, when I watch all those up-and-coming pros trying to play in, it gives me great hope going, maybe I can be a pro. Hey, I think I can play with this guy. This doesn't look as clean as possible.
Right.
And then I start thinking about, wait a second. If you got into the main draw, you're going to have to play the real pros, the top dogs. My takeaway was, if you're not hands down above every other person that you play with in the whole state, you have no shot on the PPA Tour at this point, because the guys are that good.
Yeah.
I mean, the pros, the way that they are plowing through people, the hand battles this weekend were so impressive. And I just feel like you have to have an ability, a physical ability to play with these guys, but also the ability mentally to hang into these games when they get super tight. And, you know, this is chess.
Yeah. I think that's a really reasonable take. Wherever you play locally, you better be crushing. You better be dominating if your future is in the pro level. If that's what you're wanting for yourself, make sure you can handle the local stuff first. And I think you used a term earlier when we were prior to us recording, like head and shoulders above the people. I mean, it makes sense. You need to be able to dominate at this level before you go to the next one.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Number 7.
All right. What you got?
The progressive draw rocks.
It really does, because we get to start watching pickleball on Tuesday.
Yes, it's awesome.
It's no longer a Thursday to Sunday affair. It's a Tuesday to Sunday affair. This is so cool.
And I feel like you're getting fresh players each day playing their absolute best in each round. They know when they're playing. They know that they can give it all in that match that they have for the day. And I think it's creating very entertaining pickleball for us to watch.
Yep. And from a strategic standpoint, to go to sleep one night knowing what and who you are going to play the next day. I mean, you get a whole, essentially 18 to 24 hours of prep time for your next match. So to be able to watch film specifically for what your opponents are going to be and think about only that game, I think would be really valuable. So not only the freshness, but the strategic part that can come with it, I think is really valuable.
Yeah. And I heard in post-game interviews, a lot of people talking about, okay, now I've got to get some rest, hydrate, and then I've got to watch some film on who we're playing next.
Yeah.
So it sounds
Makes
like
sense.
everybody's really doing that and taking after the Johns brothers in their playbook.
Yep. Makes sense. Now I'm curious, I want to hear more pros speak out specifically about the progressive draw, and maybe it's out there and I just haven't found it yet, but I would love to hear more pros come forward and talk about what the progressive is like from their lens. Cause I'm just curious what that's like to go from singles to gender to mixed. Like those are drastically different strategic games. So what is that part like?
Yeah.
As a consumer, I love the progressive draw, but do the pros like it for the strategic part, knowing that they have to switch their strategic style for each match that they're going to play?
Yeah.
I don't know what that's like.
Well, and I'll go 2 points on this. One, I absolutely love that we have singles mixed, and then gender on the same day, because I think for a person that's watching, if you're watching the stream all day and it's just singles, 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 eventually you get kind of burned out, whereas you're constantly getting a fresh take, a fresh look. And again, for the consumer, the progressive draw rocks.
It's awesome.
Yep. My other take on it would be, and this I heard on another podcast, and I'll steal it from him, is that the top pros love the progressive draw. The up and coming pros hate it.
Oh, I wonder why. Okay.
Because it's so expensive for the up and
I could see that.
You know, okay, let's imagine.
Have a job.
Yeah. Well, let's imagine I'm that good and I fly to a PPA event. Do I buy my ticket all the way through the week going, I'm mentally preparing to go to Championship Sunday?
Right.
All right. Because that's why I showed up. Or I'm mentally preparing to make it to Friday. It's like, you have to buy these plane tickets. You have to stay in places. It does become kind of a catch-22.
That's a really good point.
You know, how are you mentally putting it together?
Yeah.
To play that weekend when you have to buy tickets and
right. Yeah, that's interesting. And again, I imagine a lot of these up and coming pros do have jobs, other responsibilities, obligations that they have outside of pickleball. To be able to give up your life for Tuesday to Sunday, that's significant. Yeah.
And I would say my hot take is, if you're trying to go pro, if you think you have the ability to go pro, I'll tell you the same thing that I tell salespeople that come into my company and they go, hey, Brian, you know, just in case I've got this thing on the back burner, or just in case here, you know, what's the one thing that I can do that's going to help me become successful here in sales? And I always look at them and I go, take all of your second options and throw them out the window and decide that this is it.
Yeah. I like that. Commit.
You got to commit.
Let's go. If we're doing this, let's do it.
Yep. So no jobs, train every day, work out with a physical trainer, because if you're not doing that, you're not going to be one of the best, because that's what they are all doing now.
That's true. Yep. When you're sleeping, your opponent's awake.
No, pro pickleball is a legitimate pro sport at this point.
Absolutely. Just curious. So I would love to hear more pros be vocal about the progressive draw, and if they like it, if they don't, those sorts of things.
Yep.
More to come.
Number 6.
I'm ready.
Crazy lady, Laura Fenton.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, this helped me just get some laughs over the weekend as I was been out and around, but I feel bad, and I'm like, what was she thinking? So do you want to get into that?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So there were a couple of curious things that were said by a commentator from the PPA this week. I believe I don't think it was Tuesday. I believe it was primarily on Wednesday. Just some off the wall comments. I think the most significantly heard thing from this week was something about to the effect from the commentator of when a woman has a child, it's scientific or evidence-based that their play will go up. If a woman has a second child, it's evidence that their play style or their abilities will decrease. They won't play as well, which brought about a lot of controversy in the pickleball world. I did not hear a source from her. So she said it was scientifically based. It could be. There was not a source that was attached to it. I think a lot of us were left kind of scratching our heads just at the what that meant and why are we saying it, and not really applicable.
No. And I was actually listening to the stream when she was talking about it, and I was sort of, it didn't hit me right away. I didn't really quite get it until I listened back a second time, and I was like, oh my gosh, what is she saying? And there's no science behind any of this. There can't be. There
can't be. I'm scratching my head. And you've got some mothers up there that are with multiple children that are absolutely rocking it. So if I'm those women, I would want to speak up right now and just be like, you can't speak on my behalf, because that's not what's going on here. But aside from that comment, there were some other just off the wall little errors. And of course, I'm a person that always gives benefit of the doubt. We all make mistakes. We're human. There was a phrase there about something sexual that I think was confusing. There was another comment about James Ignatowicz had SportsCenter #1 behind the back ATP that was really impressive, that she actually gave credit to another pro who hadn't hit it. So there were just some odd things that were said. I understand the PPA responded, and where I got that from, I believe, was from Jim Kloss making a statement of his own, because he was co-commentating with this person, and said, PPA responded, they came in, she was removed from her position. She was fully qualified to be there, but when they heard some of what she was describing, they decided to remove her from that. But a lot of us were left scratching our heads, and also the rest of us were laughing at the pickleball memes because they were gold.
They were absolute gold.
So another shout out for pickleball memes because they're just hysterical.
Yeah.
We all hope to never become a pickleball meme.
I don't know. I kind of like it. I think
is that one of your goals? Just become one.
Well, what is it? It's like all publicity is good as long as they spell your name right.
Yeah, exactly. I guess
good or bad.
Get talking about them. So yeah, it was a weird one.
So number 5.
Yeah.
Augie Gee and Craig Johnson make another solid run in the men's side.
Yeah.
And they beat Zane and Christian Alshon, which I was very surprised at because that's a strong team.
It is.
And actually ran through the bracket all the way up until I believe the quarters where they ran into Pablo and Federico.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then they took them down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, Augie Gee is proving that he belongs.
Right. That's 2 tournaments in a row that we're saying his name. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And a deep run in mixed and now a deep run in men's with a guy named Craig Johnson, which I'm sure he's amazing. I mean, obviously he can play pickleball, but I've never heard of him.
Right. That's awesome. So we're another one we're going to look out for with Kaysen. We got some names we're going to keep track of. Cool.
Number 4. And Christy just showed me this. Anna Lee's running serve.
Yeah, there was a running serve from Anna Lee this weekend, and I'm interested in hearing what people have to say about it. So she did kind of like a Happy Gilmore-esque type of serve, running up to the line and hitting it. Of course, keeping in line with the PPA new serve protocol. So there's no spin on the ball, nothing like that. As a viewer, I was kind of curious if there was any advantage to this. I couldn't see one.
Okay, and this is you showed it to me, and I watched her do it. She's sort of running from the left side of the baseline towards the center and forward, and hitting the ball. And I don't see why that's a benefit.
Right.
And this was in a singles match, when the one you showed me. I'm not sure if she did it in doubles or not.
I think I saw one in doubles.
But maybe it's just putting them off as to where she might be or go after the serve.
Right.
But not sure.
I'm not sure either. Now, as an opponent, that could be confusing, intimidating. Anna Lee's got something else in her toolbox. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
How can her toolbox go any deeper than it already does? But here she is with something new. So I don't know if it's that. I imagine if it's working for her, she's going to keep doing it. And if there isn't much benefit, then I imagine we might not see it again. But who knows? Yeah.
Well, I'm betting we'll see it at least a handful of times. She hasn't tested it quite enough.
Right. Try it out some more.
If anyone listening knows Anna Lee, tell her to watch this. We need to know why she is doing that. What is going on?
Right. Love it. Very creative. I love that they're always being innovative. It made me think of years ago when she and her mom, Lee Waters, tried the I formation. Do you remember that? Like it had to be like at least 2 years ago. I
definitely remember it.
Yeah, but it was just like, what's going on here? What's the benefit? And they played with it for a little bit, and they didn't end up continuing with it, of course. But it was kind of cool, like very creative, outside the box. Let's see if something else works. So.
Well, and at the time, it was definitely shocking a lot of people because they came in with this crash and bang, kind of hit a drive, crash the net, and we're one of the originals to do that and do it well. And I think the I formation came from that. But now it's in just desperation mode. You're pulling into that.
Right. Yeah. But the new serve, this running serve reminded me of that time of like, why not try something? Why not see if you get some benefit from it? Oh,
and in this day and age, we're going to see more and more people do odd things on the pickleball courts. Just to try something new because the game is so young. There's still creative, fun, different things to do to win.
That's true. I mean, that's how we got the spin serve too. I mean, you say people just thinking outside the box. Yeah. What else can we do here? So kind of cool.
That's it.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll see the PPA next year going, no running while you're serving.
Right. Something else. RIP run serve.
That's it. Yeah. Anything to just dumb down the sport as much as they can.
Right. It is what it is.
Number 3, Vivian and Thomas Wilson.
My favorite.
Yes, into the finals.
Into the finals. First time this year, I believe, in the finals. I just love the two of them. The match prior when they played Anna Bright and James Ignatowicz was absolutely electric. If you're going back to watch footage, that's one to watch.
Okay.
So I know a lot of us in our pickleball community locally watch like all the PPA stuff together, like simultaneously, I should say, not physically together, but I'm here watching. I know you're somewhere watching. I know my friends are somewhere watching. they're in the third game, Thomas and Vivian against James and Anna, and the stream goes out. And it was like, I'm panicking. I'm texting friends who are panicking. PPA goes live on Instagram, thank goodness, and saves the day, and is just streaming from a corner in the room. So you can't see that well, but it ends up being 15-13 in the third game. Absolutely electric. It was actually kind of cooler to have like this Instagram feed because there was no break in anything. They weren't changing views. It was just raw footage.
Oh, wow.
of the match. And like me and the friends that I'm texting, we're all like, this is like so cool. And it's like feeding into this energy. It was really neat, but that was electric.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and watching, I don't know when. So Thomas Wilson, I've known he's good. And I knew that he was kind of on the up and up when Riley was like, hey, I want to come play with you all the time. But he is so good. I mean, to watch this guy play some of the digs that he had when he was playing in the men's game. And I don't know if you saw when he played against Jack Sock and who was he playing with?
Catherine Parento.
Yeah. No, in the men's.
Oh,
in
sorry.
The men's. He was playing
with
the guy at
Colin
North Carolina.
Schick.
Yeah, thank you.
Sorry.
Thank you. Colin Schick. Jack Sock, he was hitting the ball so hard, and he was just digging it and digging it and digging it out. And finally, after trying to put it away like 5 times, he almost took his wife and baby out in the stands.
Yes.
And so she moves over, and a point later, Jack Sock hits the same shot and almost takes him out again. So she literally stands up and walks up to the top of the bleachers as the crowd claps to protect the baby from the cannon that is Jack Sock.
Right. That was an absolutely adorable exchange. Like, I just love that because it showed them not just as pickleball players, as humans, as dads. Like, Jack Sock is a new father apparently as well. Like, it was just totally adorable moment that they had, and Brittany and the baby were safe, thankfully.
Yeah.
Like you said, they did move up. Nobody was injured. But that was just cool how they were all bantering with that.
But that came about because it's so hard to put the daggone ball away against him.
Right.
I mean, he is just digging everything out,
Yeah.
and I love his play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And,
cool.
you know, I really thought that he and Riley would be a duo that would go deep in a ton of tournaments, and they're proving that they're a really good team.
Yeah. We're going to see him on Championship Sunday.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's coming. Yeah.
Number 2, you just spoke of this. The stream is horrific.
Yeah.
It's constantly bad. Like when I'm watching some of the play-in games, I don't know if their cameras didn't have enough frames per second or whatever it is in the videography world, but the ball was moving oddly, and it was just hard to follow and keep up with. It's audio's going out. You know, we're in the championship game in the third, or not championship, but one of the better matches, and it just completely goes out. And it's like, what is going on that their stream goes out like that? And this is a multi-million-dollar entity. This is the top product in pickleball.
Right.
You would think they'd sort of be on top of this.
Right. You would think so. Yeah, that it's pretty frustrating. Building off of that, and this weekend was actually better than prior weekends, but I'm going into Championship Sunday. I'm looking at their Instagram feed, trying to figure out where I need to watch. And from 4 to 5 p.m., it's one area. 5 to 6 p.m., it's another. And then 7 to 9 p.m., I need to look at, YouTube. And then I'm on Instagram. Like, I'm going all over the place to try to watch these matches. Again, this weekend was better than prior ones, but
yeah. But as a consumer, and there aren't a lot of us watching the pro game like to the level that you and I are, which is why I wanted to put these videos out to fill you guys in on what you can kind of pop in and watch.
Yeah.
But you've got to have a quality feed, and you've got to allow us to know where the heck it is. Put it in one spot. Please put it in one spot. I get you want that TV money, but let's figure it out.
Right. I had to coach my poor dad this weekend. He said, I'm recording all the way. I have my TV set to record any pickleball game that comes on. So it's recording, and I didn't see yesterday. I was like, oh, Dad, it was on pickleballtv.com this time. Yes. And he's like, oh, it wasn't on the TV. It wasn't FS1, but it was on FS1. I'm like, I got you, Dad. I'm going to send you some stuff, and we're just going to, it's going to be okay. We'll get you there. Yeah.
All right. And number 1.
Yes. Drum roll.
Okay. Andre and Gabe.
Oh my
Dude,
gosh.
I have been a huge fan of Andre Dascu for a long time. He is just beast mode. He's tall. He's long. He's lean. He's got super fast hands. He's got like the most positive attitude.
Yeah.
And he's picked up 17-year-old Gabe Tardio, who is on the rise. I mean, talk about another 17-year-old that's making a name. And people have known who he is for a couple of years now, but he proved himself this weekend. They came in with a game plan against Ben and Colin, who they beat, and
in 2 games.
and then the same thing against Thomas and Riley
In 2 games.
in 2 games. And I mean, look, these guys they beat Ben and Colin 11-5, 11-6.
Yeah.
And they are plowing through the best teams out there. Drive and crash. And we're dropping, we're getting to the kitchen line, and we're not dinking more than once or twice before we are firing.
Right. They took risks. They were going for it.
And both of them played really well. They didn't make a ton of mistakes. You know, the problem with that game plan is that you're going to make mistakes, and you have to be able to walk away and just go, the game plan is still good. Right. And they seem to have that ability to just shake everything off, keep firing, and they had these top teams on their toes.
They did. Their hand speed was ridiculous. Like, I didn't, my jaw was on the floor. It was just so quick. Yep. It doesn't even make sense to me.
And it goes back to one of our earlier comments, and that is, if you want to play pro pickleball in 2024, is that where we're at now? Yes, 2024. You better have lights out hands.
Yeah.
Because these guys are gunning for you. They're hitting at your chest, at your shoulders, at your head. I mean, Ben John's part of the reason I think they won. Now, he would probably say I'm wrong, is within the first or second point, Tardio hits him right in the chin.
I saw that.
On a speed up. It goes off his paddle and into his chin, and he tries to play it off, but for the next 6 points, he played terribly. And you could tell he was sort of shook. I wish he would have just taken a timeout.
Yeah.
Walked away and had a moment, but instead he tried to be Ben and it's like, I'm good, let's roll. And man, they lit him up.
Right.
And I was so happy about it. Again, love Ben and Colin. I think they're great.
Of course.
But this weekend was really exciting for me to root for a team that I'm excited about.
Yeah.
It's not Ben and Colin.
So cool. I hope we see more of that.
Oh, I think we will.
Yeah. As we talked about, Championship Sunday, the last 2 tournaments for sure have been really lopsided when we get to the gold medal matches. One team is seemingly blowing out another team. So I love this mix up. I love seeing somebody different. I love that we're getting different names in there, different looks, different skills and capabilities. I think this is going to be really exciting. So yeah, I'm looking forward to more unique Championship Sundays.
It was a great weekend to watch.
Yeah.
And, I just ask that if you like to watch pro pickleball, if you want to get better, I would say watch some of these matches, watch how these pros are playing, what they're doing to get to the kitchen line, how they're doing it. The transition game, I know, is what a lot of high level players are trying to work on, is getting to that kitchen line consistently. Absolutely. And sometimes for these top pros, it's taking 3, 4, 5 drops, staying all the way back at the baseline because they're getting held back. The forehand and backhand rolls now are so good that you really have to progressively work yourself there and know, like, okay, when it comes off your paddle, I just hit a good drop and I can move forward. Because if you don't feel like that drop was money, you're going to get lit up.
That's true. Another thing I've enjoyed with watching the pros this week, something I'm trying to work on in my own game is paying better attention to patterns. So anytime I lose a point, I'm logging that as what did I do to lose the point? What did they do to earn the point? And vice versa. So I enjoyed actually paying attention to that when I watched the pros this weekend. It's like, where are they winning points? What are they doing? Where are they placing the ball? What shot are they choosing at which point? So paying attention to the patterns with the pros, I think will help me pay better attention in my own games, because that's definitely another part of my game that I lack. And I think that's kind of fun to do, to watch them do it.
Agreed. Agreed. And patterns are everything in high level pickleball. Yep. And if you can study it, understand what people are trying to do, and when you're in the game, if you can see it quickly, you can kind of go do something different, right? And change it up. So yeah, I definitely agree.
Yep.
So that was our top 10. I do want to say we're going to have one little bonus nugget here at the end, and that is we are officially starting the Pickle Pulse bet book. All right? Because Christy likes to bet dollars on lots of things.
Well, right. If I only bet $1, then I can make a lot of bets instead of making one big bet.
So I wanted to throw this out, and that is Ben Johns. Okay. We're 3 tournaments in.
Yes.
0 Triple Crowns.
Right. Okay.
Okay. Is Ben John going to Triple Crown this year? I'd say probably.
Yeah.
All right. He had like 10, 12 last year or so.
That's a reasonable guess. Yeah. Okay. I'm not sure how many, but.
So I'm throwing out for the bet book, what is the over-under?
Okay.
What over-under would you give me for Ben John's Triple Crowns this year?
So I will say, I do think he's going to Triple Crown.
Okay.
I do. It will happen.
Yeah, I will agree.
So we're in February. We don't have anything yet. We're at the end of February. I would say we will have 4.
4. Yeah.
I'm struggling between 3 or 4, but I'll say 4.
Okay, I was thinking 4 or 5.
Okay.
So if you're going to give me 4, we're going big money wager here.
Okay. All right. Let me talk to my boss over here.
Big money wager, $5.
Okay. I think I can handle it.
And I'll take the over if you're going to place it at 4.
Okay.
If you put it at 5,
Sounds
I might have taken the under. But
Okay.
okay, we'll go over. I
like
still think
it.
he's got it in him.
Okay. And this is for 2024.
This is for December.
Okay.
It's
This
over.
ends December 31st.
So
Got
log it in the book, and we'll
Okay.
circle back and we'll know what's going on.
I like it. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Sounds good.
Guys, we really appreciate you hanging with us. This is the 10 from the weekend here at the Pickle Pulse. If you've enjoyed the content, if you enjoyed the paddle review that I put out last week, there's definitely going to be some more. The next one's going to be on Thrive paddles, which I feel like is the sexy new girlfriend coming up for the pickleball, all the pickleball players out there. This paddle is the 2 that I hit this week were really solid, and they're just thermoform paddles, but there's some really cool new tech coming out, and I'm looking forward to that. But we'll talk about those old paddles. Anyway, like and subscribe. I digress. I'm going down a rabbit hole, and we enjoy having you. Have an awesome rest of the weekend.
See you guys.